As interesting as poultry farming may be, its practitioners, both the subsistence and commercial farmers, contend with a number of challenges, including the outbreak of avian influenza, popularly known as bird flu, and high cost of production.
Avian influenza is very devastating. You have very high mortality and you have very significant drop in egg production. It can wipe out a farm's existence in weeks. And once an outbreak is confirmed on a farm, the farm is shut down by the government for at least a minimum of 3 years. Yes. So we try to avoid such outbreaks.
For every product, every feed we produce, most consume between 50 and 60%. But this maize is what could be locally grown, but it will interest you that there's not enough production of maize for use of feed millers in Nigeria. And the reason is this. Since 2012, there has been importation of maize into the country because of inability to get enough sufficient maize for use. I have the data through Index Monday that since 2012, there have been 300,000 metric tons of maize that have been imported into the country. But last year, there was a challenge, the challenge of foreign exchange. Nobody could import. So because nobody could import, there's a lot of pressure on local production. So the price soared from about 60,000 naira to 150,000. As I speak today, they are offering me maize for 130,000, 135,000 per ton. And if 60% of your input costs as much as that, that's supposed to cost maybe 1/3 of that price, then you know the cost of production will be high.
If you are not facing raw material challenges, you will be facing marketing of your products, challenge of marketing your products. I don't know whether you are aware that for several months now, farmers all over the country have been finding it difficult to sell their eggs. There has been a lot of serious egg glut. In short, a lot of farms are folded up. One, I think the purchasing power of the citizen is very low. Right now, the price of raw material is killing, and there's no way any farmer can break even right now. We are not breaking. No farm can tell you that it's breaking even in Nigeria. In short, a lot of farms closed down this year. They even sold their best old layers that are still laying very well because they could not feed them and no market for eggs. That is the challenge.
We started roughly about 10 years ago.
This 59-year-old man who does not want his identity revealed mirrors one of those poultry farmers who are finding it so hard to stay afloat.
At best, we had about minimum at any time 2,000, I think 2,500, 3,000, 2,500. What we have with all this now, just about roughly 40. Now if anybody are giving me money, I'll go and do pure water instead of poultry. For instance, you cannot continue like this depending on maize. There are too many consumers depending on maize. And that's why some countries are now insisting that you cannot be producing maize and give it to animals. So they are looking for alternatives so that they can reduce cost of production. And I just came across a document where they said the protein content in cocoa beans is higher than the one we find in soya beans. And this is a cocoa producing country. So we need both experts, farmers, and people who are just interested, who are not actually involved in the business side of it, to come together and put ideas on the table.
The retailers are also not left out of the goings-on in the poultry industry. Higher sales appear to be limited to festive seasons.
How many people you meet here? You don't meet plenty customers now. So if you put plenty money for your market, now be saying now you go eat them by yourself. No money for Nigeria now. Everybody they manage. Some they buy fish, some they buy meat. Some they go buy frozen, some they buy live.
Another major issue facing local poultry farmers in Nigeria is the continued smuggling of banned frozen chicken into the country.
The custom too, they have been trying, in fairness, but as much as they are trying, frozen chicken is everywhere, almost all products allowed to be in the country. How would the life expectancy of Nigerians be high?
Even though some poultry farmers have taken steps further to not just raise chickens, but also engage in locally made frozen chicken services at various levels in different parts of the country, with some centers dressing over 12,000 chickens per day, it would seem that the disincentives are way too many for majority of the people to buy the chickens.
Like I've said, if the price of the locally grown chicken is high, and the imported chicken that was brought into the country illegally, if to say they pay their duty, just now they pay duty normally, probably the price could match with the local price. But these goods are smuggled in. When they are smuggled in, federal government has not earned any income from the importation, and therefore the price is cheaper than locally grown. Even when people know that these products are unwholesome, that they are dangerous to their health, they eat what they see, not what they like, especially when they consider their pocket. So that's why probably government can help us that when the local maize is expensive due to one reason, maybe our borders are open to smuggling the scarce commodity to Nigeria Republic, to Chad, all these places, that is putting a lot of pressure on locally grown maize. Then maybe federal government can assist farmers in granting some one-digit loan. The federal government has been trying on that. That is, they give 9% interest loan. But the point is this: the duty, if they can be a relief on duty for such goods that are imported, that will make locally grown maize to produce competitively. And when it's competitive, definitely the consumers will buy it. The one they are bringing probably in because it has been injected with formalin. So when it's injected, even when the cold chain is broken, it doesn't get spoiled. But in our case, you have to maintain the cold chain. It's fresh, no preservatives. Fresh. I mean fresh.
So how long will they last if you maintain the cold chain?
If you maintain cold chain, chicken can last 6 months. Continuous, 6 months. Maintain cold chain. Because you need to blast freeze. For you to blast freeze, that's minus 30, minus 35 degrees Celsius. You can imagine that. So it's going to be stone hard, you understand? So you can't get spoiled.
Okay, yeah.
Despite the challenges daily staring poultry farmers in the face, some of them still talk about the industry in a passionate manner.
When the cost of raw materials is low, if the price of maize is low, price of soya is low, there's a lot of money to be made in poultry. It used to be a cash cow. I want to be honest with you. When you talk of a genuine business in Nigeria, this was supposed to be the number one genuine business in Nigeria. But in the last 1 or 2 years, it's not been so. To be honest with you, I am very positive about Nigeria. The population is big, is very, we have very huge population, and the population is still growing. So there's still very big potential in this industry for Nigeria. So I believe, and I'm very hopeful that my children will take over from me.
On that positive note, we end this week's edition of Community Reports. Thank you for sharing your time with us. Do send us your feedback on any of our social media platforms showing on your screen. I am Yomi Otaibe.